Now we're on to lesson 3 in Math 21, Outcome 8 on budgets. It's figuring out income. So sometimes you're not going to be given how much income a person made, but you're going to have to figure that mathematically out. So if you're given a wage, what you would do is you would take how much money you make, your hourly wage, you would multiply it by how many hours a day you work, and then multiply that by how many days you work a week. So this example, it says Terry works at a clothing store, and he earns $12.50 an hour. He works 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. How much does he make a week? So I take his pay, which is $12.50. He's working for 8 hours every day, so I multiply that by 8. 5 days a week. So when I multiply that out, I get exactly 500. That means he's making $500 per week. So again, some of your questions, you might have to do that as your first step. So now this lesson, we're just going to put everything that we've done together in one big question. Before we go, remember, income is money you make, expenses is money you spend. If you earn more than you spend, you're going to have a surplus. If you spend more than you earn, you're going to run a deficit. If you run a deficit, you're going to need to prioritize your expenses so that you can have a balanced budget. So Tony's a carpenter. He has a net monthly income of $3,500. So he has an income, I'm going to put this in my budget right away, $3,500. He has all of the following expenses. So I'm going to put every single expense into my budget. So I'm just going to read down and hope I don't miss anything. We have rent, which is $1,000. Oops. Groceries, which are $500. Car insurance, $120. Entertainment, which is $250. Household goods, and household goods was $100. He has savings of $250. He has transportation at $400. He has a loan payment that is $400. Utilities. Utilities are things like your phone, your power, your water, your electricity. That's $300. Clothing, which is $150. Medical, which is also $150. All right. So now my next step is to add everything up. The income's pretty easy to add up, right? There's only one value in there, so 3,500. Now I'm adding up all of the values in the expense. So 1,000 plus 500 plus 120 plus 250 plus 100 plus 250 plus 400 plus 400 plus 300 plus 150 plus 150. I get a value that is 3,620. When you put the numbers into your budget, it doesn't matter the order that you put everything in. You're going to get the same answer. So right away I see that he's making less than what he's spending. So I know that Tony is going to have a deficit. Right? He has a deficit. So to find out how much his deficit is, I take how much money he earns which is $3,500, and I subtract off what he spends, and I get 120 bucks. So he's short $120. What does that mean now? It means that we need to look through the expenses and figure out which ones are important and which ones aren't important. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to start the ones that I need to keep at that amount. It's not going to be changeable. There's no way I can change the rent. I need to pay the loan. I probably need to pay my car insurance. I need to pay the utilities. Medical, dental insurance, that's probably something that won't change. I also really need groceries, right? That value I could try to reduce by spending less on it. I probably need my transportation, but I could try to reduce that if I could. Again, I'm trying to cut $120. So I look at the ones that I don't have start, which are my clothing, my household goods, my savings, and the last one was entertainment, which was $250. I'm going to look at those for a second and figure out if I can actually cut $120 out of there. So I'm spending $250 a month on entertainment. That is a lot. I'm sure I could even cut $100 off of that and only have $150 a month, and that would be pretty doable. Clothing also, $150 a month, I could probably reduce that. Right, if I cut my entertainment by $100, I could just cut my clothing by $20, and there I have my $120. The household goods, those are things that you probably would like to keep, the toiletries, the cleaning products, and it's nice to have a bit of savings. So I'm going to prioritize them according to myself. You might have a slightly different prioritization, but to me, these two are going to be last, right? So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this might be 11, and this might be 10, just because I think they're the ones that I could reduce soonest. The savings then might come the next least important to me. The next least important might be the household goods. The next least important, what would I not want? That's really hard. It's really hard. This is going to be really important. I'm going to make that 1. Maybe I work the other way and see how that helps. My next important thing I'd probably have is groceries. I could reduce that if I had, though. Had to. The third next important thing, my power, my water, those things are important. That might also be number 2. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to switch that. This is going to be number 2. This is going to be number 3. The next important thing, I need to make sure I pay my loans. I can't pay for transportation unless I have the car insurance, so I'm probably going to go with that as 5, that is 6, and that is 7. Again, your prioritization might be slightly different, but as long as you could justify it, that would be okay. So which expenses am I going to reduce? I'm going to cut entertainment by $100. That leaves me with $20. So I'm going to cut clothing by $20. And so that is balancing a budget. That's our last lesson, so now you should be doing practice 3. When you're done that, there is a hand-in assignment that you should be working on before you write the assessment.